What's up, everybody? I'm Zach Morgan, and welcome to Anime Art for Amateurs, Episode 5. We're going to be covering one of the more complicated tutorials that we've done so far. We're covering eyes today. Now, eyes are very, very difficult to draw. I'll admit that they are something I still struggle with to this day. But after a few minutes today, I'm going to teach you 3 different ways to draw the human eye, and it's going to be a really fun time, and you'll learn real quickly. So I have here basically just a normal head and shoulders. Not the shampoo, but a literal head and shoulders. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark on the face where the eyes should be on here. You want them about halfway between the edge of your head, or I say the edge of your head and the center of your head, but you can have them kind of inwards. So it's a little more like a third. Now that you've marked where they are, we're going to focus on this side over here because I can draw this side a little bit better. An eye's basic shape is a circle. So if it really helps, go ahead and draw a circle. This is how I would teach, like for basic eyes, if you're starting off with, just draw a circle. And anime eyes are normally bigger than normal human eyes, which is why the circle is so big compared to the rest of the head. This will serve as the base for your eye. Now this is going to be a basic female eye. So the way that you would draw that, I'll set my pencil to a different color for this, is when you go, you want to follow the curve, and you want to make it nice and big and round. Just follow an arc across the top, sort of tangent with the top of your circle. Come down, and you want to make sure that your eye has 2 corners, right here and right here. Eyelids usually open up like this, so you want to make sure you give that sort of idea off in your drawing. Now you have this corner. You notice how it kind of circles around the top? This is the point where it turns around. Messed up that. Turns around, and you want to meet up with the bottom of your circle. The bottom of your circle right down here is going to be the bottom of your eye. And you want to make these eyelashes kind of thick, because it is, after all, a female. You can thicken these up once you get the basic shape. But now the bottom of the eye is a little bit different as it sort of flattens out, and you want to kind of decide a point out here to end your eye at. And now that you have the basic shape for your eye, you can kind of thicken it and shape it. And one good way to shape the eye and make it look really feminine is to add eyelashes. So eyelashes are just like the shark fins we had for the hair, but instead they're going to be smaller. We're going to put like about 2 or 3 up top, but the third one we're going to put on the edge and make really big. We're going to add a huge shark fin out here, and that helps make it look even more feminine. Or at least this is how I draw them. Now you'll notice anime eyes usually aren't very circular unless you want them to look really like young and cute. But if you draw a slight oval inside your eye, should look fine. See, and there you go, we have an eye now. But it is kind of looking away. Anime eyes, if they're looking straight forward, they tend to go closer to the inside. More like that a little bit. And now you've got your basic female eye. And you can just do the same thing to the other side. Which I'm going to cheat because I'm a digital artist. I'm going to cheat and just flip it over there. And there you have your basic eyes for a female. Now, a very important part of any eye is to do the inside pupil and the iris. The iris is the part that's colored in, and the pupil is the dark dot in the middle. Your pupil's that easy. It's just a black dot in the middle. It's usually black, but I'm using a red brush right now to show you the difference between your guidelines and your sketch. So, the way that I normally color eyes is I have a base color, And then on top of that base color, I'll put up here a darker version of that color. I curve around the bottom of the pupil, and it gives off the effect of a shadow up here. You might actually have to color that pupil black so that you can see it. Once you have your darker shade up here, you want to put a lighter shade down here. Normally I go for close to white, and you want to make kind of a crescent around the bottom of the eye. And that's some very, very basic lighting for your eye. But in order to make things really pop, you want to add some shine to it. So if you want to add shine, I normally just go up around the top with some white, draw a little oval, and then an even smaller little oval down there. Now for the white part of your eye, I forget what it's called. I believe, well, I don't want to say in case I get it wrong, but I think it's the sclera. We're just going to fill that in with white to show you how to kind of shade this part. Now again, you want to give off the illusion that it has depth and that it has an eyelid on top. So you color the main part white because everyone's eye is white. Then you go over this top part, the top half, with a light gray. This is to give off the illusion that yes, there are eyelids, but also that it's 3D. It also helps make it pop. If you zoom out, right here, you can see that with the gray, it helps it sort of stick out and it helps make it look a little bit better. If we colored these eyelashes in, it would actually look even better. So I'll do that real quick since we're done sketching the female eye. This is basically how it looks. I'm just going to color it in and kind of show you how it looks as the end product. And there you go, you have your basic female eye, and it actually looks really, really good. You can add extra detail to it, like you can add a slightly darker color around the outside rim of the eye right here to kind of give off a good shadow effect, and you can put a lighter shade on the inside very, very gently. And that can help add some detail to it. But yeah, that's your basic female eye. Moving on, we're going to be kind of drawing a more, I'm just going to say more feminine eye, because this eye will be thinner. It will also be a lot more mature looking. That's the word I'm looking for, mature. So you know the basic shape of your eye is this circle. Everything you do when you draw your eyelids, we're going to make these a little bit thinner and pointier, but we're still going to curve around like it's a sphere, so that way it gives off the illusion of these are inside the eye, or the eye is inside the head and not just stuck on the front. But you still want your bottom lid kind of in the same place. We're gonna do that. Now you'll notice on this one, we go way past what is normally the eyeball, and that is because on this style of eye, you really want to accentuate the eyelashes. So we're gonna make these good and thick. And out here in the corner, you can actually round off a little bit. Remember, this is anime styled, so it doesn't have to be extremely realistic, but you do sort of have to know what these sort of sultry, like, I like to call these the, I call these like cat eyes, because they look more like cats, and this part right here does not help, does not help with that, because you can see it does look like a cat if you draw the pupil like that. But instead, we're going to make this look a bit more human. We're actually going to go ahead and fill in this part so that way it's a little bit easier to see what we're doing. Alright, so now we've filled that part in, and you kind of want to make sure this is all clean. And then add your eyelashes on top. You can add just a couple. These are usually very clean eyelashes in anime, but down here on the bottom you can add a couple of really small ones. It helps kind of with the detail of it, and again, just like last time, we're going to make this pupil a bit more ovular than what's realistic, or a bit more oval shaped, but we aren't going to draw the top of the oval. Instead, we're going to start about 2/3 of the way up. And remember, make it big. Anime eyes are usually very big and expressive, so that way they can show a lot of emotion without having to spend too much time working with the face. They can just do it with the eyes. And again, you just add your pupil. Now, I have seen some artists do the top part completely black, and that does work if you're sketching it out on paper. It does actually work fairly well, especially for like what we're doing now, which is just sketching it out and going over the basics. It's like, I sometimes in my studying notes, I will just doodle eyes as practice. And then you add your base color underneath with your lighter colored crescent, which we're going to go even lighter for this one, to a near white, because this blue is fairly light. And then we'll go to actual white and do that little part up there. Then remember your gray, you're going to curl up. You're going to kind of follow this curve around, and then curve at the edge of your eyelash, so that way you can kind of keep it in the white. I'm coloring way outside the lines for that. That did not look good. And there you go, it is that easy. We're going to go ahead and clean up the eyelashes, so that way you can see a little bit better what it would look like as a finished product and not just like a blue sketch. Usually eyelashes are drawn in all black, but since my guidelines are all black, I'm going to be sketching in colors that are not black. You can add like small details after you get done with them. But that looks really good as an eye. And we did a few, just some simple steps, and all you have to do as a digital artist is copy and paste. But as a traditional artist, all you would have to do is just do the exact same thing on the other side. And that's where a lot of artists struggle, is doing the other eye. I know I struggled doing the other eye for a while, but after you get used to it and after you do it for a while, you will eventually grow to be able to do it on both sides. Like, I could just do it on both sides and it would look okay. So you can see the difference. So I didn't copy this one. So now we have two styles of eyes done. There's the normal, regular female eye, and then we have the sort of skinnier, more cat-like eye. Now the third and final basic eye shape that I think we'll draw today is the male eye. The male eye I actually struggled with for a while, but after I learned my style and drew it over and over again, which is the key to getting this kind of stuff down, after you start drawing stuff for a long time, you'll be able to just get it down pat, and you'll be able to teach other people like I am with you. So male eyes in anime are usually, and this is a fairly general statement, they are usually more rectangular in shape, while females are more round. Like you'll notice with these eyes, they are very circular, and with these they are more like skinny, but they're still very round and ovular in shape. A male eye is actually more of a rectangle, so you're going to kind of draw a rectangle with rounded off corners, just kind of like this. And male eyes, they do usually tend to connect up here more. Now the good thing about the male eye is that you don't have to worry about the eyelashes too much, because most guys don't have very long eyelashes, especially in cartoons. We're gonna go ahead and, after you've drawn your rectangle, go ahead and fill in right here with white. And male eyes are usually smaller too, so they're a little bit easier to handle than female eyes. It's very easy to mess up a female eye. Male eyes are a little bit less stressful because they're a lot more simple. There isn't a lot of glamour in them. So now that you've gotten your basic rectangle, little crummy rectangle, all you have to do is again draw your oval. This time you can kind of put the top of your oval at the top and the bottom of your oval at the bottom lash. And again, for a simple way to draw pupils, if you're doing it in just one color, just draw it like a Pokeball. I know Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are out right now, so just draw your eyes as a Pokeball. And there you go, it's that easy. Then just fill in the bottom color, get your lighter color and get it closer to white. And draw your crescent down there. Then get your white, add your shiny stuff, your gray, go in and add shadows, and it's extremely simple. And there's a good male eye. Now I'm gonna clean this up, but there isn't much cleaning up to do since it is a guy's eye. I can just kind of define the rectangle a little bit more. The rectangle of his eye, at least. We're gonna go over here. And while we're drawing out here, we're gonna go ahead and define where that pupil would sit. And as you can see, there you go. A simple male eye, and all you have to do, if you're doing this digitally, is copy, paste, and flip it. And I drew the iris a little bit too far out, but that will be just fine. We are still just sketching. So there you go. We now have 3 different styles of eyes. We have basic female. Remember, basic female is big and round, and you want to show a lot of character with it. The more cat-like eye, which shows a bit more like sneaky and a bit more mature looking. And then finally the basic male eye, which is more rectangular in shape and is a little bit easier to draw. I'm sorry that this was such a quick lesson on such a complicated topic, but again, I'm trying to get these out as quick as I can. I do apologize. Thank you for joining me today for today's episode of Anime Art for Amateurs. Please check out my new webcomic, Project Valkyrie, in the description. Support us on Patreon, and as always, have an awesome day.